Hey, this is Fling with DFS Army, and this is your week 3 cash lineup review. All right, so this was a cash lineup that I went with, and this won the majority of my head-to-heads. Lower scoring week, but I ended up, squeaking out like a $10 profit on the slate overall. Obviously, a lot of the chalk filled on this slate, but this was a lineup that I used. It was able to get me profitable, and this was from back testing. It really kind of produced this lineup for me when we went back and looked at the 2023 cash game slate. We were able to cash in about 13 out of 17 weeks by just back testing, essentially playing the domination station using DFS Army's optimizer, locking in a high floor quarterback like Hurts, zeroing out tight ends so that we don't get one in the flex, and just running the optimal. You put an adore on a couple players that you really like on that slate, like Jordan Mason, um, Devonta Smith, and you just let it run and do its thing when you lock in a quarterback and you zero out tight end in the flex so you don't get one there because that's a position of high variance. So, typically we want to let the domination station, the optimizer, do its thing, but we also don't want to pay all the way up for a tight end. And the same thing on defense. If we get a chalk defense, great, but you'll see even here where I paid 3K for the chalk defense in a good spot, they kind of failed. So ultimately, it probably even would have been a little bit better to go down defense, but since this was chalk and it was in a great spot, I was okay playing it. That's one of the things that we want to target in our cash games is chalk. We want to target chalk in good spots. So we're looking, at a defense that's going against a rookie quarterback, right? That's 6-point favorites, for example. So the Bucks D, for example, this didn't work out as the way we would want it to this week, but overall, this is the process that will lead you to the cash line most of the time. So same thing, Jalen Hurts, he is a high floor quarterback because of his rushing floor. Without his weapon, AJ Brown, his top weapon, Devonta Smith leaves this game early, gets hurt. He still scores 15 points. So he has 30 plus point upside, but a pretty high floor. So that's kind of quarterback we want to target. We also want teams that project well. They have high team totals, high implied team totals, high projected game totals, and like running backs that you're going to be favored to win the game in a 24 point implied team total. So Zach Charbonnet fit that bill. Jordan Mason fit that bill. We want to chase volume. Devonta Smith and Ayuk with AJ Brown out and Deebo Samuel out and George Kittle out. We knew they were going to get a lot of volume. They didn't exactly smash, but we're not trying to win the tournament. We're trying to beat 50% of the field in our cash game. So I feel like Devonta Smith did pretty well here, almost getting 15 points. Ayuk, this is about as worse as he could have possibly done. And, still got almost 10 points. Tank Dell, this was a value guy. You're typically going to want to pay down in a couple spots, and you're going to look for a good matchup when you do that. So that's where you're able to get Tank Dell. Akers, 4,700 running back with Mixon out, and he was going to be highly owned, the second, third highest owned running back on the slate. So that made a lot of sense. So, you want to follow the good chalk in tournaments, or in tournaments you look to get off that chalk. In cash games, you essentially want to follow it. So that's more or less what I did here, was able to profit in these head-to-head cash games this week. Look at my cheat sheet. This is something I do for DFS Army subscribers. And by the way, if you want to be a profitable DFS player, cash games is a great way to build that bankroll. And that's why we do a cheat sheet. I do a VIP breakdown for DFS Army VIPs every week. And of course, you have the domination station. You can use the optimizer for your cash lineup as well. Right now, $10 for your first week. This gives you the cheat sheet, the optimizer, the coach's notes, all the different tools, the matchup sheet, and the Discord. $10 for your first week. If you don't like it, you can cancel. If you do like it, like most people, I think you'll want to stay. You can certainly keep it. Video description will be where you will find that link. Code CRUNCH at checkout. Jalen Hurts was the top quarterback I had identified. I liked both him and Kyler, but you could see I had 4 stars on Hurts. I liked him just a little bit more because we've seen more of a floor going back years with Jalen Hurts. Kamara was a guy that I was on earlier in the week, but I ended up getting off of him just a little bit, just because I liked the Jordan Mason and the Cam Akers lineup a little bit more. I liked that pay down at running back that allowed me to pay up in some other spots. I thought Devin Achon was weird chalk. That was kind of a fade for me and ended up working out. 7K for a back that was on the road as an underdog with a rookie quarterback. There was just a lot of ways for that to fail, and it did. Mason was the top guy. Jennings got all the touchdowns, but make no mistake about it, he was the play in cash at 6,200 with the volume that he's getting in the Shanahan scheme. I thought Rashad White was also cash viable, but overall I went with Zach Charbonnet because of just the volume and the matchup just being a little bit better, I think, with a higher team total at home for them. Nico Collins, I thought certainly was cash viable, but Devonta Smith, Godwin, and Ayuk were really the guys for me. Chris Olave as well. But I just loved the matchup for Godwin with Patrick Surtain being shadowing essentially Mike Evans. Godwin in the slot was going to get a lot of opportunities, and he delivered. Same thing with Devonta Smith with AJ Brown out. He was going to get a lot of opportunities. Same thing with Ayuk. So volume is certainly something that we want to chase in our cash games. And then Deontay was the paydown that I loved as well at 4,900. So overall, went pretty well. Like I said, the defense, the paydown option was the Titans. I like them at 2,700 in that matchup going against Green Bay, but I ended up eating the chalk defense because it was a little bit of a better matchup on paper. And I think if you certainly follow the cash sheet, there was a path to cashing in your cash games this week. So for the DFS Army VIPs, stay tuned because I will be dropping the VIP only breakdown on the channel. Got to get it in the Discord. I will drop that private VIP link in the Discord for DFS Army VIP. So stay tuned for that. If you're not a DFS Army VIP, like I said, you could join us $10 for your first week. Use code CRUNCH. Like this kind of content, let us know. Hit that like button. Let us know how cash went for you, and we'll see you next time.